the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications option. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatterspodcast1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Critics attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say to you, you're the only thing that makes us all believe.
Good evening, welcome along to NUFC Matters. It is talking to Toon. Good evening, Sid. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Songs from the Attic is Sid's channel. Get yourself over onto there on YouTube and subscribe. If you like your music, you'll like that channel. And as always, plenty to talk about in the next hour. Rob will be joining us live at 6:30. So looking forward to that. But where do we start? Well, I'm going to start with what I started with on the Fans Forum last night, which was Voldemort has been getting a bit of stick already, Sid. He hasn't even played a game in Newcastle. Came up with an assist the previous in the last game, but back in training today with Newcastle. I think it's probably likely that he could start at the weekend, all going to plan, because Wissa doesn't come back till Thursday. Wissa scored again tonight already for Congo, which is great. But I have a feeling that it might, that game might come too soon for Wissa. Certainly with a start, but I think that, I think the criticism he's had has been ridiculous. I mean, he hasn't even put a black and white shirt on yet, Sid.
He's not been Eddie Howe,
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the key, isn't it? Give the lad 6 months. I mean, for me, I always say 10 games is normally enough to see where somebody is. But with Eddie Howe, it's different in it because it can take 3. I mean, if you think of Anthony Gordon, it took about 6 months to settle in. And people forget, players like Dennis Bergkamp took like 6 months to a year to acclimatise to the Premier League. And the same with Perez. He was terrible for the first season for Arsenal. So why should Voldemort, I think that's pronounced wrong. Why should he suddenly acclimatise immediately? But I think he'll do pretty well. I have to say I'm quite optimistic. And we look at other players as well, of course, who've not acclimatised yet to the Premier League, such as Seshko. Whether he does or not is another issue. So, not a problem as far as I'm concerned. And it's just, I don't understand. I don't understand people giving them grief. I mean, I can understand why the Bayern Munich chairman has got a bit of sour grapes going on. Yeah. I can't understand why Newcastle United fans in certain cases have made these comments. That makes no sense. It makes zero sense to me at all. Sorry, Laura.
Yeah.
What's going on? But no, I don't understand it. No, I'm not paying any attention to that whatsoever. The lads, give him 10 games, and if he's not performing after 10 games, then you can have a little dig and make the odd little comment. But I really think you should give him at least 6 months before you sort of come out and make any real proper judgment. And until Eddie Howe's done all his training methods with him and really sort of brought him on, and I'm sure he will. Because we've all just need to look at all of those players who've been successful, and we can all list all of them, Joe Linton obviously being a shining light. But we could talk about Emil Kraft, for example. You can talk about Isak, who had a poor record before he came in, scored 6 goals the year before, and he came to Newcastle. So, I mean, there's just 3 examples. and there's countless others as well who've come on and stepped forward. Fabian Schär, for example, had a rick in him before Eddie Howe came, and he ironed it out. So yeah, not bothered. It really doesn't concern me overly. No, not at all.
Yeah, me neither, to be fair. We were messaging each other last night, and the announcement that that came across the networks about Man City and the Premier League was interesting. But the more I read about it, the less I understand about it. I've got to be perfectly honest. Because nobody can really comment. There's a statement being put out. Man City, part of this settlement the agreement is that they can't speak about it. So what's your feeling? What's your gut instinct on that?
Yeah, I mean, we're all just speculating. Nobody knows is the honest answer. I mean, let's be honest. Man City are going to look after themselves first and foremost, as do all the teams, and they may well have done a deal. However, the precedent has been set, and I think all eyes have to be now on what Man City do with regards to their sponsorship. If they suddenly get a huge sponsorship deal going forward, and don't get me wrong, they're entitled to do so because of the finance that they've brought in over the last 15 years and all the rest of it, and all the things that they've won. But if they get a sponsorship deal that some may argue maybe high, I think is the phrase, then it has to open the doors to other clubs because of the fact, as I say, the precedent has been set, and then other clubs. And I'm looking at Villa, I'm looking at Everton, Forest in particular with their owner. I'm thinking they're not going to sit there and just accept it. And why should they? And let's be honest, this is the time where Newcastle now need to sort of put their foot forward a little bit. And I'm not saying dive straight in, but they need to sort of be going, well, who are the Premier League to say what is the set fee? Who are they to say it? Do they know what something's worth in the Middle East? Because I don't, or do they know what something's worth in Australia and all the rest of it, or in Brazil in terms of the sponsorships? How do they know? Because what happened if you flipped it on its head and said, well, we're going to do, and the sponsorship was the other way around? It would make no sense. So it doesn't make any sense to me. And as I say, I think if Man City appear to do very well out of this deal, then the other clubs have got the right to therefore just get lawyered up, really. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Because it would seem unfair if they've got a deal that other clubs haven't got a deal. And as I say, you would have thought a good lawyer would say, well, precedent's been set, therefore, legally, this therefore becomes a two-tier system if that's the case. That's the way I look at it. I might be wrong, and I don't profess to be a lawyer or have any knowledge in these sort of things, but that's the way, from my layman's viewpoint, is that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, it don't seem right. Man City, good luck to them. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm only concerned about Newcastle United. And I think there should be I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of relaxation of the laws. Do I think Newcastle will suddenly go in and do loads of whopping high deals? No. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle, like all of these things. I think it'll be, will things be loosened off slightly? Possibly. Possibly, and therefore to our benefit a little bit. But I don't suddenly see us going and doing like £1 billion deals with some sort of Saudi airline, but I do see us maybe getting a reasonable deal here and there, and maybe opening up opportunities a little bit more because, let's be honest, we're one of the clubs who've been hampered most. So.
Yeah. Trolls says there, have a feeling the Premier League of Centre City will drop the 150 charges if you get to increase your revenue, and that APT will stay the same. I still think they'll have charges to face. I mean, it's all been done and dusted, so we should get an announcement on that, you would think, sooner rather than later. Steve says, even if everyone does City's APT agreement with Premier League unlock the door for bigger sponsorship, well, Sid's had his say on that. I would agree with Sid as well, to be honest. I think Newcastle will still play with a straight bat. and be sensible. Gary says the deal City made with Etihad Airlines presented to the Premier League was blocked in 23. Now that it's been allowed and City have agreed to drop the APT2 case, does this set a precedent for any of our deals? Well, everyone's asking the same question. We don't have the answer to it.
Yeah.
And I see a few people shouting for Keith in the chat, but Keith doesn't have the answer to it either. Nobody has the answer. Nobody has the answer to it. And the only way we get an answer...
I will. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So
yeah, but he still won't have the full SP on it because we don't know what's happening. He doesn't know what's happening, and that's because things are embargoed for whatever reason. There's a time scale that clearly has been put on this by the Premier League, and we just got to wait. And once we find out what that situation is, then we can speak with a bit of clarity. But at the moment, it's just it's all just subjective. It's just someone's opinion. It's our opinion, and ultimately for us, it would make good viewing on the podcast. But I only really want to get people on if there's something to say. So Tom Dixon, those words probably echo what I'm trying to get across. Let's see what happens. And Terry says Premier League's made an out-of-court settlement, therefore they back down on the APT issue. Again, it's one way of looking at it, but we just need some clarity. We're not getting clarity. That's what we're not getting. None of us really know what's going on. So
it was said in such a way that nobody understood,
Yeah.
And of course, like the last time, remember, all certain journalists came out claiming one viewpoint, and then a set of other journalists came out contradicting them. So where do we stand? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, I think.
And this is the same as transfers, and I don't really want to get bogged down in that. I want, we're into the football season now. I want to concentrate on football, concentrate on the results, and let the politicians in the game, battle out and sort these things out. And
the only question I have with regards to the whole thing, Steve, is what's the situation with regards to the interest-free loans then that these clubs all got? I genuinely don't know. I'm asking. So I'm wondering, because I'm sure City must have brought it up. So
yeah.
I
mean, the valuation is Al Capo. You're right. That is a key. Newcastle, will they ever go down the arbitration route against the Premier League? I really don't know. At this moment in time, it looks as if they're not willing to rock the boat. I did Al Walid's podcast last night, and me personally, I sense the frustration from him as well. That he's clearly not going to come on and say anything negative about PIF, but I just sense the negativity from him, and I just think it's almost head scratching that they would spend the money by the club, but then not progress with certain avenues or progress down certain ways, unless it's part of a grand plan. And of course, this is where David Hopkinson comes in, which is a nice segue into his appointment. What's your feelings about his appointment? You've seen a bit of him now. He's been on social media. Got to say, I mean, Al Walid, I said this to him last night. Al Walid is obviously trying to set up the Saudi Newcastle United supporters, the official supporters association, but he's been hitting brick walls with the people at the club. Now, David Hopkinson has not just replied once in depth, but replied twice in depth to Al Walid directly from his club email. So that in itself is positive when you think that on the grand scheme of things and in the grand scale of things, what David Hopkinson has to do at the football club to take the time out and reply to a supporter, which is what Al Walid is quite a testament to those early days in charge.
Magnificent. That's what I'm going to say. That is well done to him. Because I wasn't expecting any of that. He looks to be a fabulous appointment. I mean, look at his CV. It's outstanding, isn't it? I mean, Real Madrid, which, speaks for itself, biggest club in the world alongside Barcelona, much to Liverpool's annoyance, I'm sure. And then you've got Madison Square Gardens. And if you look at the amount of revenue, he just about doubled it, I believe, from what I was reading. Like the Knicks, for example, they doubled their revenue. He's did a great job at Maple Leaf, the ice hockey. Everywhere he's gone, he's done an incredible job in terms of promoting the place, raising the status and financially massively attaining a lot of money for those various institutions that he's been at, which can only have good news for us. I love the fact he's coming over to Newcastle. Somebody said he's getting married in Newcastle or within the area. Something along those lines. Again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I do apologise, but I'm sure I heard that. And
I'm sure you'll have stabbed him.
Come and live over here, and he's going. We can tell you where to go, mate, if you want. He's got a dog and all the rest of it. He's come to live here. And I think that's great. You know, I'm absolutely delighted with it. He's obviously, like Darren Eales did, buying into the whole city and the whole culture. And I think he'll do a great job and take it to the next level, because that's what we need to do. And more importantly is the fact that he's got the financial background. So Silverstone is going to have to prove his worth, I feel, you know, and who better to work with to do so? I mean, in terms of CVs, it's as good as it gets. It's as good as it gets, and we cannot ask for more. So proof's in the pudding. Let's see what he does. But the fact that he's already emailed Al-Walid twice, I think is magnificent. I love stuff like that. If he's watching, can I mention how abysmal the website is, by the way? Newcastle United's website is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Please do something about it. You know,
I've had a few inboxes today about people trying to buy tickets, and you know, it's crazy. The stuff that I've heard today, I'm not going to get bogged down in that either. We might leave that for the amigos, but
yeah,
you know what? It's been a farce. And have you had an experience today, Sid?
Just over the last week or so, because I'm going to bring up the Champions League. Yeah, I'm just going to get my hanky out and cry because I booked a holiday. My wife, it's after 50th tomorrow. And Karen goes, oh, we'll go away and you can fly to Gdansk from Newcastle. My mate went there and it looked great. So I thought, great, we'll go on a Thursday because there'll be any bloody football and they moved the Champions League game and it's Barcelona and I'm going to bloody miss it. So trying to transfer my ticket, nigh on impossible, trying to work out how to do it because it wouldn't work on my phone properly. Couldn't do it online because there's some sort of weird thing going on. The system stinks. And trying to get through online, it's like winning the lottery. Honestly, it's just absolutely abysmal. I think I've done it, but it's absolutely abysmal. It really, really is poor. Why should you have two logins? Why should you have two logins to get onto your account and then have a different login to get into your tickets? It makes no sense. It's crap. You know, it really is rubbish. I mean, was it done like somebody on a YTS scheme? Because it's just absolutely atrocious. So please get somebody with a bit of nous in. And also, why is the box office open one day a week? You know, again, even if it's 3 or 4 hours a day, have it open, please. You know, not everybody is able to get either one, miraculously through to the switchboard, or two, you know, able to do it online because you don't get a response. I've had about 4 emails. I've never got a response off them ever. So, you know, please sort it out. It just stinks. Sorry about me little rant there, but I'm sick of it.
Nah, I mean, it's understandable, and you're not the first person to say this. You know that you know it is getting worse. You know, and you know the ballots, the lottery, as George calls it, not good at all. Website and ballots, is what Tim says, are just novices. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we met Ian tried to get a ticket for the cup game, and it come up with Nottingham Forest written on the headline, and then and further down it said against Bradford. I mean, what the hell's going on there? So the fact that they've amalgamated both things together on one, it made no sense. It's just nuts. And then again, today you had 110,000 in the queue for the Barcelona tickets. I understand that. That's not the club's fault. But, you know, are we? You know? And that goes back to the stadium. If you're thinking 65,000 is enough for a stadium, have a look at the fact that there was 110,000 wanting tickets for a game. That's not including the 50-odd thousand who probably already got a ticket, or 45,000, say at least. So,
yeah, I mean, obviously the Newcastle Originals went on sale today, and Dean saying even the club shop app isn't very good. He says I use JD Sports instead today. I mean, that's, you know, the club will still get money, but it would be better if it was going straight into the club's pocket.
Yeah, not the same amount though, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And it is getting worse. There's no doubt about it. Davey says, bring back the old ticket office in the car park. Queue up in all weathers. Happy days. And I think as well, it's the thing that is annoying. Someone's mentioned it in the chat there, Muzza. Hospitality now, £1,069.20. It's the price of success, isn't it?
It is, and unfortunately, let's not kid ourselves. I'm going to make up a random number. Let's say we have 80,000 at the next ground. Let's say we got a new ground, we have 80,000. We're still going to have 15,000 hospitality tickets, aren't you? So you're still fighting for 65,000-ish tickets, I suspect. I don't think it's going to be a massive increase in terms of release tickets. So it's going to be that. It's going to be that all the time. They're just, the prices of the tickets will go up. And if you ask other clubs, they're all in the same boat. You know, their ticket prices have gone up, and you're pricing out working class people to a point, you know, which is not right. I mean, my first ticket, I think, was £1 or something like that to get into the Gallagher when I was 11 years of age. The big grown men shaving their beards off trying to get in for £1.
Fantastic.
But I mean, obviously, it's not those ridiculous fees, but there should be a point where there should be a fee for everybody within the ground. Yes, your £1,000 ticket, fine, absolutely fine, understand it. Most people, it's probably written as a tax write-off for some people, you know, as a firm, as a business sort of deal or whatever. And then for other people who might do as a treat, you know, they might pay £300-400, and then for others who can afford it, they might pay a couple of £100. But there should also be tickets for people who maybe can't afford it, you know. And if you look at Barnes, and I think Barnes is a good way of explaining this. As much as I love Bruce Springsteen, I thought it was horrendous. I paid 220 odd quid for a ticket. I bought 3 of them, you know, for one of the gigs, and yet you can go and see Paul Heaton playing at the arena for 35 quid. Mm-hmm. And if he can afford to do it, it shows you that they can cater for everybody in terms of the prices. You know, there should be a range of different prices. So if certain people can afford it and see that we're still making a fair packet out of it, then that's the way it should be. And it was only 10 years ago when they were talking about lowering season ticket prices because most of the money came through advertising and other means. And all of a sudden it's changed. And I don't understand it. And there should be a set low fee right across the country, in my opinion, in the Premier League for fans. Yes, you might end up in level 7. All right, I'm not going to pretend otherwise, or the top band of whatever new ground might be, but at least they should be affordable so everybody has the opportunity to go. So that in years to come, seeing I become a granda, I want to be able to take my grandchild along to the match, you know, and it should be right. I've took me 2 girls there in the past, and I should be able to afford to do so, and it's not right. You know, it's not right. So there you go. That's my opinion anyway.
Evening, Rich. He says it's another huge negative of PSR. It's all about revenues. So to increase ticket prices, everyday fans can't afford it anymore. Owners allowed to invest without PSR would reduce ticket prices, in my opinion. And I think that's true.
Bang on. Absolutely bang on. Rich is absolutely bang on. Yeah. Kind of disagree. A perfect answer, in fact.
Paulie suggested they could stagger pricing, and level 7 is the cheapest and increases the closer to the pitch you get, which is another good idea.
Yeah, they sort of do it anyway in some respects, although, you know, like East Stand and the Millburn, obviously higher prices, and so they sort of do it to a point. But I agree, there's definitely a better way of doing it.
Tim saw the Stones for £35 and a lucky dip option. Seats for
Is that right?
He'd fall in the Tyne and come back up with a bit of fish in his mouth, Tim. And Steve says we've had no tickets in the ballot so far. Managed 2 in general sale, nothing for Arsenal or Barca, and now we're away for Forest. England teams being announced: Pickford, James, Gahey, Concert, Livramento, Rice, Anderson, Madueke, Rogers, Gordon and Kane. So Tino Livramento and Anthony Gordon starting tonight. Dan Burn being given a rest. They obviously know he's got the big Champions League game coming up. And
how good was Elliot Anderson the other day? Yes, it was against a poor team, but you can only do what you can against the opposition. He was outstanding.
Yeah, credit to him. I mean, he's, you know, it makes that decision that we had to take even more damning, doesn't it? Really, unfortunately,
it does. Like everybody else, I suspect he'll come back in time. But fingers crossed. I think he'll be. This my outright my shout here. I think he'll be the Joe Linton replacement in about 18 months.
Really?
Yeah. I'm putting it out there. There we go. I'm prepared to be shot down. So
I mean, look, it's not a bad shout. I think it would be it's going to be awful if we've got to go and re-sign somebody for that price. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. Of course, to change a manager at Forest as well, it'll be interesting to see how that affects everybody. I mean, what a madcap club that is.
That is absolutely nuts. What is he doing? I mean, the guy's done a fantastic job. He's built an ethos within the team. They played nice football. They did outstandingly well last season. Yeah, they dropped off at the end, but they did really, really well. They've got some really nice players. He plays a good brand of football. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. They've bought some decent players as well. Obviously, not the players that he wanted by the sounds of it, though, which is never a good sign. Postecoglou's, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. You know, I don't like the fact you've got a manager who just looks down at the ground and talks like that all the time and say, how we, you know, just, you know, it doesn't sit well with me, I think is the polite way of saying it. I don't rate him. I suspect he may drop slightly further back this time round and not do the whole high line on the halfway line thing, because that's just crazy. But I think it's daft. I mean, if you look at what Spurs did, Spurs must have regretted getting rid of that manager after about 10 games. The guy who was just replaced, ironically. And then he went to Forest and did a great job. And so it just goes to show, give somebody a little bit of time. And I think Nuno's a very good manager. I think he's a very good manager. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him be the next West Ham manager.
Interesting. Okay, lots to discuss still tonight. And just a quick one for everybody out there, because I haven't got this into the ads yet. We've got 3 fanzines left. 3 subscriptions is what we need to get to 100. So 4 issues for £25 includes postage. And the first issue is being written as we speak. So if you want to be involved in helping raise money for Age UK North Tyneside Dementia, and all you need to do is send us £25 and you will get your 4 fanzines this year. But thanks to everybody who's supported us so far. If you want to subscribe, go to nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk and just click the fanzine option and you'll be able to order one then. Okay, we're going to have a quick break and we'll be bringing Rob in after this. A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them at www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickies.co.uk, email info@mrvickies.co.uk, or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2 crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. Hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com, email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com, telephone 01670 632 460 or 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. And if you like listening to us as a podcast, you can go to Sports Social Podcast Network or to iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, then hit the subscribe button. It's free. We do 7 shows a week. Hit the little thumb up under the video, which is the like button, or click share to share to your social media. You can also join the channel on YouTube by hitting the join button for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become an NUFC Matters member, you can go to nufcmatters.co.uk. It's a £25 one-off fee. You get your pen, you get your badge, a key ring, you get your beer mat and your fridge magnet and your membership card, nufcmatters.co.uk for that. And we have an event early next year, 13th of February 2026, an evening with Beardsley, Waddle and Gascoigne takes place at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. To buy your tickets for that event, go to the box office 0191 243 1171 or Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk. And it's welcome back to Rob. How are you, mate?
Very good, gentlemen. How are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. And the album Rob won't be reviewing today is this one, The Untimely Death of Mr. Johnson, and other songs written and performed by Bill Blunt.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Good stuff, mate.
Yeah.
What are you reviewing today?
This week, every time I say that, I think of the Far Show. This week, I'll mostly be reviewing. Andrew Murdy requested Oasis Standing on the Shoulder of Giants album, and he did say to me it's a bit of a sort of like Marmite album, love or hate it, you know. So this is in 2000. Obviously, Oasis got the name from the Leisure Centre in Swindon, the home of XTC, coming in Spiral Carpets gig poster. Track number 1, I have to change the words, but I'll call it Playing in the Bushes. As soon as I heard it, I've never heard this album before, but straight away I could hear John Bonham, Led Zeppelin, the sound, the reverb, the openness of the drums. Really good drum sound though, very powerful, very catchy. It's from the movie Snatch, I believe. There's not a lot of changes to this song, and I think that overall with Oasis, you know, some people are going to, you know, disagree massively with me, but there's decent guitar solo through it. You know, to me, it's like Led Zeppelin meets the Stone Roses. This song, it's okay though. It's a decent opener. Then you've got track 2 is Go Let It Out. Good recording on this one, good mix on this one as well. Again, after 1 minute, all I can hear is, you know, the Beatles again. I can't help it. There's not a lot going on in this one again, but the lyrics are good. I'm starting to think now it is a lot of like storytelling in their way, sort of like the indie way, the rock way that they do. You got track 3, Who Feels Love. It's much better for me, this one. It's more psychedelic, a little bit trippy, a little bit dreamy. Good backing vocals, sort of lying right underneath Liam's vocals, just following octave lower than him. It's really good, actually. Again, little direction on the song, but to me, it's the best song so far, is listening to this album as it comes across. So track number 4, I think Sid, you'll know this. As soon as the name of the song's Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, I just thought of the Wonder stuff. Yeah, it's actually better than the song above, Who Feels Love. It's got more of a different feel. It's just sort of like more poppy, sort of darker, sort of grunge, a bit more experimental, which is quite refreshing to hear because to me it's, you know, another Oasis song and another Oasis song. But it's sort of like more, it's got more of a foot tapping sort of habit to it. It's a bit like Roadhouse Blues feel. We got a track 5 called Little James. Again, just straight away reminded me of Imagine by the Beatles, just the piano part. I know I've done some wee bit of research on this one. It does get played at funerals. It's very dark. It's just dreamy, simple, nice piano, flat 4 partner drums, but powerful lyrics again. It's just a song. It's nice. It's quite an emotional song, quite, you know, pulls at your heart. Then you've got Gas Panic, song about panic attacks and anxiety, very haunting. It's like a desperate plea, sort of that angst, the inside with anxiety and that side of life. Good guitar solo by Noel. His guitar solos in this album are quite good. They're a bit better than I've heard before. Sort of very, very samey, but this one is seeming to open up a bit more on this one. Again, good vocals, very sombre song. So yeah, track 7, where did it all go wrong? Well, again, nice drum opener on this one. Really bright intro. Noel sings this one. The vocals are really good. Noel's vocals. I actually prefer Noel's vocals than Liam. More smooth. And all I can say is this typically simply an Oasis song. You got track 8, Sunday Morning Call. It's a sad song from Noel. Noel takes the lead vocals on this one again. It's quite trippy, quite trancey, quite deep. There's not a lot of music to discuss in this one again. Like I've said before in the opening, it's just like the subtle key changes that just direct the band. It's like the lyrics to me are always way too high in the mix for me. I would say on all Oasis songs that I've heard. But the music just all sits in the background, but there's not a lot of direction. It's just like soft key changes moving it in a direction. But that's Oasis, and that's why so many people love them. Nice little effect though on the vocals on this one as well. So then you've got I Can See a Liar. It's good. It's like more powerful. It has a really slap in your face. To me, it could have opened this one. I don't know if it was a single, but it would have been an absolute cracking song to open the recent tour with. For me now, this is the best song on the album. For me, again, nice vocal effects. And the pictures there, yeah, that's their debut gig. So yeah, it was okay. It's so far, that one's the best song. I Can See a Liar. Final song is called Roll It Over. Strong vocals again. I'm just finding it, the vocals, Noel's vocals are good. It's like Noel's in the wrong band. I have to say that, and I know I'm going to get a lot of, unhappy people, but it's like Noel's in the wrong band. That's just my opinion on it. It is because when Noel takes over, it's like a different band. It just seems to hot knife through butter more. I just prefer it. It's like to say, it's like the vocals are getting a bit overdone. It's just like the music's pushed too far back in the majority of all the songs. But I think seeing them live would probably be a totally different experience because you're getting a live experience. But studio version of Oasis songs, they just seem, the songs Noel's doing, singing, vocals, and on this album, his guitar parts, that's what stands out for me. It's like a very dark album. And as Andrew said in his messages to me, he says it's a Marmite album and he's not sure if people like it being a Marmite album. For me, it's getting a 5 out of 10, but I still like Marmite.
Couple of suggestions for you, Rob. Roxy Music's masterpiece, Avalon.
Can I do that one?
Yeah, go for it.
Yep.
And Alan McKenzie said the Silencers. Blood and Rain album would be a good one for you to review. So maybe you can have a look at that. But Krista Johnson is asked for Roxy Music's masterpiece Avalon. So Sid will do that one next week. You've also sent us a photograph, Rob, which I'm going to stick up and let you comment on. Just 2 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, my friend owns a print shop up here where I live, and he's done a glass chopping board, obviously with the cup final. What a lovely gift to give me. It's my birthday today, so it's
happy birthday.
Presented that with me. It's absolutely lovely. It's glass and no Isaac in it. Yeah, it's lovely. It's now centre stage in my kitchen, so that's a lovely gift.
Happy birthday to Rob. I'm sure you'll get a bit of
55, and I can still get away with wearing a footy top.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's good. Happy birthday, Rob, says Roger. I'm sure you'll get quite a few from there in the chat, so keep an eye out. So over to you, Sid. What are you bringing us today?
55, I remember it well. Yes, I'm doing Squire by Alan Hull. Somebody recommended it a few weeks ago, and I got a chance to listen to it over last week. I mean, I'm a huge Alan Hull fan in a certain way because of the TV show, which I'll talk about later on. Weirdly, as I've mentioned this before on a Lindisfarne one that I did in the past, when I was a little boy, we lived upstairs in Sutton Dwellings. It was bloody horrible in Benwell. And we lived upstairs to his mum. So I remember his daughters used to come and knock. And I used to go in his house and with his mother. And it was just smoke everywhere with tabs. But it's something I just remember. I just remember bits of it. I just remember the place itself, Sutton Dwellings. It was bloody awful. But anyway, so Alan Hull, it's Squire. It's around about the same time, fully enough, when we moved. The backstory is that Square was it was a soundtrack for a TV play that he was in, written by Tom Pickard, and he was going to contribute all the music. And I think he just used a few tracks. Thank you, Dean. And he used a few tracks that he'd written for it, and then some tracks that he had sort of just knocking around because he had literally hundreds of songs at this point. And it came out in 74, January 75 was when he recorded it. It came out in 75. Features some interesting musicians, mind you. Albert Lee, great guitar player, and Mickey Moody from Whitesnake. So there's some good musicians on it. Produced down in London. There's some real corkers on it. I mean, it starts off with Squire, which is one of the best songs you can go and listen to. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a proper classic song. Terrific guitar, loads of space on a beautiful drum groove. I really like it. I love the acoustic guitar on it as well. It's outstanding. It's an outstanding song. Get the chance, go and listen to it because it's a real revelation of a song. It really is top draw. We've then got Dan the Pan, which is clearly an attack on T. Dan Smith. I'm going to read some of the lyrics here because they're actually quite funny, as well as dark and actually clearly correct in terms of his views upon what was happening to Newcastle City Centre. Isn't it a pity that no one knew its worth, but the Civic Centre shines like the money in your hand? Let's raise another glass to Dan the Plan. Oh, Dan, you're a terrible man. Can't you see what you've done? You've spoiled all the fun. Oh, Dan, you've killed me, old man. You've turned the house into a caravan. You know it used to be mine, even the fog on the Tyne. Now it's all snow and rain. Am I wrong to complain? Am I wrong to complain? Now, there's no holding back there. He's really, he really goes for it. Yeah, and if you look at what they did to Eldon, I mean, creating Eldon Square is a monstrosity, in my opinion, compared to the buildings that were there previously, and they knocked them down in the early 70s. Just awful, absolutely awful. And what they do now to get those buildings back, because Grey Street got voted most prettiest street in the UK recently, quite rightly so. Anyway, I digress, but that was Alan Hull's attack on what was going on and what the destruction of the houses in Newcastle. We've then got Picture a Little Girl, which is like a pastoral sort of Nick Drake type song. Really different, but good. This is where you get a little controversial because you've got Nothing Shaken But the Leaves on the Trees. It's an old rock and roll cover, and it's a bit of a filler, if I'm being honest, but it's not bad. One More Bottle of Wine is absolutely brilliant. He does a great demo version, which is on his previous album. Is a sort of bonus track on Pipe Dream. Pipe Dream, if you haven't heard it, go and listen to it. 5-star album all day long. It's absolutely magnificent. So One More Bottle of Wine. It's a majestic celebration of love, friendship, and celebration of drinking as well. And it's that end of the evening thing. Let's have one more bottle of wine. It's lovely. His piano playing on it's brilliant. There's a wistfulness in his lyrics, a sense of melancholy as well. It's brilliant. It really is unbelievable. Golden Old, this is a decent song. Sounds ironically, of course, like a Lindisfarne song. I'm Sorry Squire is the next track, which I think was recorded was going to be for the soundtrack. It's an instrumental. It's got a prog Jethro Tull type of feel. The Brasilia of the North, exactly. We've then got Waiting, a good melancholy song. Bad Side of the Town is an absolute classic. I really, really like that. And then it finishes with a little short ditty of the end, which is short and amusing. You've got two bonus tracks that come across it now. A Crazy Woman, which is fantastic song, really brilliant. Should have been a hit. And then Carousel, which is good. It's like a 20s, 30s song that would appear on Queen's Night at the Opera. Very, very good. I mean, I genuinely think the guy is one of the greatest songwriters the country's had. I really do think that. I think the first three Lindisfarne albums are unbelievable. His first solo album is, in my opinion, as good as any. It could easily be two sides of the White Album by the Beatles. I think it's that good. And this is a good album. This is a 4-star album. It's not a 5-star album because there's little bits of filler on it. It's a good album. I do like it a lot. So yeah, that's my album there, Squire.
Nice cover. I really like the cover to it. Said really nice. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's clips of it in the show. So, Steve, if you put me other picture, please. So, most of you may well have seen the documentary there, that Alan Hull story, Geordie Genius, that was on the BBC. It might still be on the iPlayer, actually. If you get the chance, go and watch it. I mean, there are contributions by all the sort of all the local lads. You know, you've got like Stings on it, and you know, I'm trying to think of who else is in it. There's loads of people in it. You've got Elvis Costello's in it. You've got Jake Burns in it. Peter Gabriel's in it. You know, so there's some real big hitters. Mark Knopfler, and they all talk about him being the sort of Geordie Dillon and all the rest of it. And I'm honestly, I think I listen to songs featuring Alan Hull more than I listen to Bob Dylan. I love Bob Dylan. It's a brilliant documentary. I think it captures him well. I remember talking to Jake Burns once and about him, and we're having a bit crack, and you've seen how he could be a bit sort of cantankerous and that, you know. And I think that comes across in the documentary. I used to see him in the Bacchus a lot. He'd be in the Bacchus, in the front part of the old Bacchus. He'd have a bottle of brown ale and he'd have a tab. He was always in the same seat. You'd see him there all the time. Every time you go into something, I was sat there. Yeah, it's a brilliant documentary. It's really touching. Sam Fender hosts it, of course. It was a very good job as well, to be fair. It's just brilliant. It's a brilliant documentary, and it's a real eye-opener for people who've never heard them or really got into much of the sort of solo and the Lindisfarne stuff. Give it a go. It's brilliant.
Yeah. See, the first song you were reading the lyrics to, what was that song called?
That's the second song. It's Dan the Plan.
Could you do me a favour, do me a birthday treat? Could you stand in a car park and shout that lyrics out as loud as you can for me? Because I'm out of time. You said Dan.
Brilliant stuff. We do have a bit of fan mail as well. I'm just trying to find it. It was from Trevor, and he loves the show. Thoroughly enjoys listening to the Talk of the Toon music section. Now, if I can find the actual email, he's wanting a free album, lads.
Well, I did a free show, didn't I? So I shall promote
Here we go. Trevor Stevenson, he says, I do enjoy watching NUFC Matters Talk of the Toon. And he says, I wonder if yourself, Sid, or Robin Rob have previewed any free albums. I must admit my favourite one is Heartbreaker, which was Free's final studio album. I know that some critics didn't rate it, but I love it. I just wondered what your thoughts are on it. Any thoughts, lads, on that? And maybe Rob can review it, but any thoughts on that particular album?
Check me show, because I do review them all. We did a free show. It's done all right, actually, in terms of viewing. And my favourite is Highway. I think Highway is unbelievable. I really do. But it's a great, it's a good album, actually. It is. Heartbreaker is a good album. There's some really good stuff on it. So good album.
Nice. Yeah. It's an album I've never heard it.
All right. Well, there's one for you to review as well. Get it written down. It's another one on the list. Rob, as always, thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next week, and enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
Look after yourself.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great stuff. Just before we finish tonight, we will look ahead to two games, Sid. First of all, we've got Wolves at home in the Premier League on a Saturday at 3:00. Obviously a little bit early for team news. Jacob Ramsey and Joe Linton were the ones who we thought may not make it, but Joe Linton in Eddie's last press conference was more or less declared fit for this game, so that should be okay. Jacob Ramsey has been interviewed on telly tonight, according to Les, and there was no sign of any protective bandages on his feet, so maybe we'll have good news on Friday. Of course, Anthony Gordon says the second of his 3 game domestic ban. He will be available against Barcelona in the Champions League, though, which is great news. Wolves, well, it's not looking good for Larson. It looks as if he may miss with an injury.
That's Strand Larson, is it?
Yeah, they're trying to tie him down on a new contract, but he is at this moment in time carrying a little injury and may not make it.
I think we'll go back in from Christmas, but there you have it.
Maybe we could go in for Gay as well. You never know. So far this season, Wolves are pointless. Bottom of the table after a 4-0 home loss to Manchester City, 1-0 defeat at Bournemouth, and a 3-2 defeat against Everton at Molineux. Referee has been announced. It's Chris Kavanagh. The referee is from Lancaster, and he takes charge of his first Newcastle game this season. His most recent appointment was for the 4-1 home defeat of Manchester United back in April. VAR is a new name to me, Timothy Wood. Not heard of him. But anyway, he is on VAR. 3:00 kick-off, no TV. What's your feelings about this game? Who do you think will start?
Really looking forward to it, Steve. I'm gutted that Visser's not back till Thursday, though. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I genuinely didn't know that. That might change things a bit, because I was going 4-0 and I'm thinking, oh yeah, we'll absolutely tonk them. But if he doesn't start, I'm thinking 2-1. I'm going to go 2-0. If Visser starts, we'll win by 4. But I'm going to go 2-0 because obviously Gordon's not playing either. Of course, he's still banned. Barnes, I suspect, will then start. Although he might go Langer on the left, he might go Murphy on the right and stick the big lad up front. We don't know. We shall see. I'd love to see them both start, mind you. That would send a message out, wouldn't it?
Any chance of Asula starting and then going unchanged if Ramsey is fit and keeping Joe Linton until Barcelona?
No chance. Joe Linton might not start at Barcelona anyway, but I don't see any chance of Asula starting. Would you start him? I wouldn't.
Not after the game against Leeds, but we know what Eddie's like. And there may be that kind of feeling, well, I don't want to, psychologically don't want to start either of these and bring them on as substitutes. But
I know, but what better game to play than Wolves? It's not like we've got Man City at home, is it? So Wolves, bottom of the table, stick them in.
I think he starts Big Nick. I think that's his front three, Tom. I think Barnes, Voldemort, and Alanga is your front three.
I think he's probably right.
And I think the midfield decision will be easier if Ramsey is fit. I think he goes with the same midfield and goes with the same back four and goalkeeper. I don't think there's a change for that at all.
We may change the formation with 20 minutes to go and stick Visser on and keep Voldemort up, and then go suddenly stick 2 in the middle, and then have that formation.
I think Voldemort comes off and Visser goes on and he keeps the formation. I don't think we'll play 2 up front, but I get you. I get where you're coming from. I think if Visser starts, I think Newcastle could do quite well. But I think if Newcastle go with Voldemort, I think it's, still think Newcastle could do okay with it. But I think 2-0 would be more likely. It's interesting. All right, but you're still going for a win, which is positive. The first win of the season, which would be great. And of course, you just mentioned you're missing Thursdays, September the 18th.
Well, I'm just going to dab my eyes again.
Kick off at St James's Park, 8 o'clock is live coverage on TNT Sports. Anthony Gordon, as I've just mentioned, will be available. The CL Champions League A-list squad is as follows: Pope, Ramsdale, Trippier, Botman, Shaw, Chow, Kraft, Livramento, Byrne, Joelinton, Tonali, Willock, Guimaraes, Ramsey, Visser, Gordon, Barnes, Asula, Alanga, Murphy, and Voldemort. That's a 21-man selection, 4 short of the maximum permitted due to the eligibility criteria, which means Jamal Lascelles and John Ruddy are out. The B-list selection doesn't need to be submitted to UEFA until the day before each tie. That can include an unlimited number of players born after January the 1st. 2004. In Newcastle's case, the B-list inclusions can include Lewis Hall, Lewis Miley, and Alex Murphy as under-21 academy players. So Barcelona back in town. And of course, everyone, I guess, looking forward to seeing Jamal. He's the big talking point. He's the big talking point. Yeah, he's the big talking point, isn't he?
Honestly, I'm almost on the verge of tears here.
Hansi Flick's side
I was raging when I heard that the Champions League game was on a Thursday. Would be an understatement. The expletives would be off the map.
One of my mates is actually did the same, but again thought that the Champions League game would be Wednesday. Yeah. He's actually in Barcelona on Thursday.
Is that right? All right.
Unbelievable. So he's good. Yeah, so he's actually sitting in Barcelona. But Hansi Flick's side faced Valencia in La Liga on Sunday evening. They sit 4th on the table with 2 wins and a draw from their opening 3 fixtures. No news on the referee or VAR at the moment. Barrack Road will be closed to the traffic post-match as usual. No other changes. And don't forget the food bank will be there at St James's Park on both of those games. This will be the fifth competitive meeting between Newcastle and Barcelona, all in the Champions League, with Newcastle winning one and losing the other three to date. I don't have to tell you the score, and the one that we won 3-2, of course, with Tino Asprilla getting a hat-trick. So what's your feeling about this?
The last one, Clive scored a hat-trick against us. It's the best hat-trick I've ever seen against us. And he got a standing ovation walking off the ground. We signed him not long afterwards, but he was unplayable that day. He really was. He was outstanding. We've won one. We've lost one. I think we'll draw one. And I'm going with 2-2.
Oh, 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2. An entertaining game. Yamal... I'm not going to say him. I might never get another chance. But I'm really absolutely, I'm thrilled we've got Barcelona. I'd prefer to have had Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, because I've never seen those two. But, thrilled. You can't grumble at having Barcelona for crying out loud. I think it'll be a super game, really entertaining. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I'll be watching it in the bar in Gdansk. Karen's first words were, I suppose we'll be watching it in a pub. Then, too bloody right, we will.
Great stuff. Yeah. Great stuff. Well, that's your predictions. Let's hope that the win on Saturday is true. Have a good trip away, mate. Enjoy yourself, and we will be in touch about the next talk of the Toon. We'll plan that around your return. But have a good break, and see you when you get back, mate.
Take care, folks. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye.